Hello and welcome back, everybody, to some more Dota 2 action. This is the Star Ladder iLeague Star Series America's Stage 1 Group Playoff matchups. And it's going to be compLexity Gaming up against Archon in a best of three. In this one, a very, very important matchup. My name is Lyrical Dota, joined today by MotPax. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing good. I'm excited. We have both these guys, I believe, last played up against Cloud9, so both had to go to the ringer with those guys, and now they're coming in. I understand we've got a couple situations going on in terms of groups and points.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a little bit hectic in terms of how everything is looking. In terms of Group A, Team Archon is through. No matter whatever happens today, they're going to be going on through to the next round, which is Stage 2. As for compLexity, if they end up either losing by a score of 1-2 or winning by 2-0, they move on as well. If they end up losing 2-0, then they have to drop down and play a best of one up against Cloud9 to determine who is going to move forward to the next round. And that's just based upon the way that the tiebreakers end up working out. The first round is score, obviously. Second, after the fact, is going to be by virtue of individual matchups. And if you take a look at the way that Group A worked out, compLexity beat Leviathan, Leviathan beat Cloud9, and Cloud9 beat compLexity. So there's all a wash there. And then after the fact is map difference. And so Cloud9, they're currently sitting at 4-5 with a difference of 1. And compLexity, if they lose by 2-0, they're going to be sitting at 3-4, which is also a difference of 1. So all in all, the end result, compLexity, they need to win one game and then they move on to the next round. And hopefully they're going to be able to do it. They did let Doom through in the first round, so could be a big ask already at the start.
Yeah, one thing that I've been noticing with both Archon and compLexity, if they have the second pick, one thing that they won't do is they'll be looking for the Darkseer. So, like for instance, in their past games when Archon had first pick, they would ban out the Darkseer instead of compLexity because Darkseer is one of those heroes that you really want to look to combo with something, right? So, like the Winter Wyvern, compLexity love opening with the Winter Wyvern. So, I would be expecting Darkseer Winter Wyvern for them here. And I should just go the Slider instead. So one reason for that, the good minus armor up against the Doom.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense there. The other thing in my research before the game, I've seen Archon go for a lot of minus armor strats. Slardar is actually one of their highest win rates heroes currently, played almost exclusively by Mu. He has a 4-1 win rate on it this patch, and very, very impressive. The other the other player that plays a lot of one particular hero is Tusk, and that tends to be Fluff and Stuff, who's 6-1 on this hero this patch. So these are two heroes that they prioritize very, very heavily. Of course, Doom being considered one of the more OP heroes in the current meta, although he did recently get that more recent nerf. I think that they're very comfortable with the start that Archon did, and compLexity here might be trying to sort of combat the strategy that they've been seeing. It's worth noting these teams know each other really well. They've played a lot of matches. They played just yesterday in the game show tournament as well, and they ended up splitting the series 1-1. So you guys are in for a good one. I'm really excited to see where they go. Gyrocopter banned out, as is the Venomancer now as well.
Yeah, now with the Doom and Tuscan as well as that Slider over there for compLexity, pretty likely we won't be seeing the Darkseer. I'm thinking at this point. I don't think anyone's going to squeeze him into the draft. We've seen some pretty wacky stuff with the Slider and NA, I suppose. We've seen like the 4 roll and everything like that. But with the Gyro and now the TA being banned out, we do still have the Ember Spirit, some new people are looking to lately. Can't get any of those nice dual offlanes with the early ban on the Lich, which kind of limits the sort of playstyle you'd be going with for the 2-1-2s and everything like that. Maybe a harassing support, something pretty standard, like the Dazzle's still in. Not too much harassing, but he is one of those ones that people really want to look for the start of the game. He walks mid, punches a couple times after blocking the wave, but it looks like it'll be Cole's choice here. And they actually ban out a Magnus.
Yeah, that's an interesting one again. It's all been I've seen it relatively recently, and it's Archon running this sort of interesting strategy of Magnus, PA, and Tusk kind of all in combination together. And PA actually, I think, is their most played hero currently for JO on this patch, 3-1. So he's been doing a pretty good job for it. But again, going to be picking up the Wind Ranger. I love this combination here. Slardar comboed up with Wind Ranger. You're able to go straight for that Aghanims and be able to dole out a lot more damage than you would normally be able to, just by virtue of that minus armor. It's incredibly potent with this hero in the way that it works, and I like this combo a lot. It does also somewhat limit your potential. I think in before you get that Aghanim Scepter, like Wind Ranger isn't as strong of a hero in terms of being able to sort of team fight as early. You know, you think about a Queen of Pain, for instance, blinking in and screaming, but does still give you the option to hit a really strong timing around the time the Slardar gets that blink dagger.
Yeah, it looks like knowing that the early aggression doesn't tend to come out from the Wind Ranger, like maybe she'll TP for a counter gank or anything or something like that, but they will go for the Tusk Undying, so something that actually complexity would look to towards back in TI, but Archon will have it this round. Just pretty terrifying, honestly. And now with a Doom too, so with that Scorched Earth, if they doesn't really matter where they're laning, you could just have a quick TP from the Tusk up top if it's the Doom Undying dual off lane. They can just run in with Scorched Earth, Snowball, and the Ice Shards, and it's going to be pretty terrifying for whoever they want to look to put up there. Now, it'll be someone with the Winter Wyvern. A lot of the times in the past, we'd have teams look towards something like the PL in situations like this to avoid that kind of a gank. But honestly, that hero has just been, he's on the down slope. So I don't know. They'll
Yeah,
probably look for
definitely.
something survivable to put up there.
Yeah, it's a tough lane, definitely. And with the QoP already banned out, that's usually, at least for me, the answer that I tend to see most often is that you end up throwing the Queen of Pain down there to deal with that lane. And instead, we're going to go the other option. We're going to throw a Dazzle in there, keeping whoever is in that safe lane very supported. It could potentially be the Slardar. I think Slardar is pretty good against that because if you think about the way that Tusk interacts, you snowball it in with the Undying. If you're able to hit a crush coming out the backside of that, you get a crush onto two essentially, which is pretty effective. And considering you're going to have the Winter Wyvern and the Dazzle around that area, maybe that's what you go for. But I don't know, it's looking really scary. Bat Rider also going to be picked up now, so I'm assuming this is going to be a Bat mid. With probably Tusk Undying in that dual off lane and then Doom in the safe lane. I don't know. What do you think about this whole combination here? Bat Rider obviously a hero that's been played more often, but I'm not sure
Mm-hmm.
about it.
There's certainly a lot of options. S4 really the only one we've seen take it mid a lot, but he's been so successful that I would definitely be expecting him to run that in the mid lane. You know, maybe he's been practicing it up, maybe in a couple scrims. I do like the Doom off lane, and I think Tusk is good enough that he could be played as kind of that fourth position, throw the Undying to a fifth, and just run at them kind of hero.
Hmm.
It is a little bit riskier because you don't have like a range support or anything like that, but depending on what kind of a carry you want to go with, it's definitely feasible. But it's also totally possible they could go with something like the Doom into the safe lane and just grab another range support, Tusk core,
Yeah,
yada yada yada. It's a very alliance-esque draft, something that's very flexible, running a couple different lanes, and it makes it harder to counter and pick up against for complexity.
yeah, definitely. There's that ban out as well of the Ember Spirit that you were talking about. There's a decent amount of catch on this team, but still, it's just such a pain to play against that hero. If you don't time out everything absolutely perfectly, it can really mess your day up. I think I'm actually going to retract what I said. I don't know if this is actually going to be a mid Bat Rider. I saw the Zeus band out there, but the other thing I was looking through my notes, Monkeys Forever plays Bat pretty consistently for them.
Mm-hmm.
He's the only one I think that's actually played it for them so far. Weaver going to be picked up, another somewhat squirrely hero, and we take a Juggernaut last pick. Very, very interesting draft. Excited to see where this is all going to end up going. It looks like they definitely want to be aggressive early and aren't really going to take off the pressure. Juggernaut, early aggression as well as being able to have that untargetability. I like this draft right now for Archon.
Yeah, definitely. It's we had a miracle mid juggernaut earlier. I think this one will be in the safe lane, but you never know. It'll be up against Chessie with the Wind Ranger, so a decent matchup for the Bat Rider, we assume, heading to the mid lane.
Mhm.
But now the Weaver, that's pretty interesting. They don't like have the AA, which is one of the ones that you'd see comboed up with that pretty frequently to help out with the damage from the Geminate attack. But with the minus armor from Slider and Dazzle, it's quite a bit of added damage on for the Weaver.
Yeah, and this seems like a good Deso game for the Weaver as well. Being able to build into that early damage just seems very, very strong. So, really excited for this one. We're going to get started in just a second as I throw my notebook to the side, change over the overlays. Everything is looking absolutely fantabulous. Early TPs out to this mid lane as well. And I think that probably here we're going to see some early engagements. I believe that Archon want to fight if at all possible, and I would expect to see complexity try and dodge away from that as much as possible. But we'll do a quick little introduction to the players. For Archon, we're going to have Fluff and Stuff, who's going to be playing on that oh so wonderful Tusk. Over here in the mid lane now, Whitebeard, he's probably not going to be staying there. Undying. off to the side, Monkeys Forever is going to be playing the Bat Rider. We do have Jio who's going to be playing on the Juggernaut. And last but not least, heading over into the jungle-ish area is Moo on the Big Bad Doom.
Okay, and already using a pretty significant chunk of his mana pool. It's going to be Zizzy up top there on the Weaver. Be Chesney mid on the Wind Ranger. Vlad going to be playing that Winter Wyvern there. And then Swindles going to be on the Slardar in the off lane, and then Z-Freak on that Dazzle. So we have, of course, had that little bit of a switch up lately. So Swindle's now down in the off lane. And I don't know, it looks like they're going to be getting pretty aggressive here. I'd be interested to see how Archon shifts their lanes depending on what they see coming out from compLexity.
Yeah, you'd expect them to try and take that matchup whenever they can of Slardar going up against the Tusk and the Undying there. I did mention that they are going to send the Doom on up to the top lane now, seeing a little bit of the change, I guess. And Winter Wyvern just going to be moving around, does have boots first as well as that Arctic Barn, so she's going to be very mobile in these early stages of the game, much more so than you would normally see out of this hero, but is going to run into trouble a little bit. Sentry Ward dropped down. I don't think that they really have any way to catch her out. There was the potential for shards, but a little bit too much of an ask, I believe.
Yeah, and they do have this block down here on the small camp on the Radiant side. This one's pretty hard. It's really frustrating trying to deboard the Radiant small camp. I missed it twice this morning when I was playing a game because you need at least 3 sentries in order to cover it if you do perfect warding from the side of the Dire, whereas opposed to the Dire, usually you can get it with the common one, and at most it can only take 2. Jayo's getting a lot of damage tacked on here on bottom with that spin. Wow, Z-Freak actually goes down!
Wow, huge amount of damage coming out from that. That's just that early aggression you're able to see out of this. No boots, no nothing, just the Undying Juggernaut combo, and Dazzle ends up paying for it. And we talked about the early aggression. Mid lane again, Wind Ranger able to tear on down that Bat Rider just so much, so quickly. But compLexity able to get a little bit of a return kill, and I think that is more worth it to be losing the mid laner versus the Dazzle down there in the bottom lane. You certainly don't want to be losing that Bat Rider that early. Oh, top lane, Moo getting a little bit of harassment as well. The Arctic Burn's going to be doling a good amount of damage, but I don't think Weaver wants to come over and help out too soon, but it's going to be able to run away from that Doom. It's such a terrifying lane to be going up against that Doom.
Yeah, he's just holding on to Scorched Earth, almost trying to bait him into committing to some sort of a, trying to go for the kill, and then he'll just turn it right around on top of him. But I'm surprised that Monkeys went down there. I know he was stacking the napalm, and it was working. Like he had over up to 4 stacks on top of the Wind Ranger, but without the level into the Firefly, he had level 1. It was a really good thought there by Chessie to go in for the kill then, knowing that he wouldn't be able to be killed. It's virtually impossible without Firefly.
Yeah, definitely. You need to be able to have that, and most assuredly, like the sticky napalm obviously adds extra damage onto your right clicks, but Wind Run is always going to be up as long as you're playing effectively, so it's just such a dangerous little combination there. Top lane, are they going to be able to find anything here? No, Moo is just too tanky. Even though he has that 0 armor, it's still going to be so hard to trade clicks as long as he's got Scorched Earth up. And even though it did end up getting nerfed relatively recently, it's still such a strong spell in terms of the amount of heal as well as damage it can dole out very quickly.
Yeah, now I'm wondering, they're going to snowball mid on top of Chessie. They do have the Firefly this time with the shards. That is a nice little combination. Sure, a lot of burn damage on top of Chessie, and he is just dead.
Yeah, nice little catch. It's so deadly against Bat Ray, as you said. Turn rates all of a sudden drop down to nothing. You can't really run away, and with the shards there, you have to make a full turn. You can't just like run straight anymore. You also have to run to the side, and that means that you're even more going to be slowed down. So need to be careful about this fluff and stuff rotation. A player that definitely knows, as I mentioned, 6-1 on this hero so far, and they have run Bat Rider quite a few times as well. A couple of rotations now. We do have one on the top lane, the Winter Wyvern trying to wrap around the Doom. Don't think there's the potential to kill, except he's relatively low, and then bottom as well, fluff and stuff, just giving a little bit of harassment. So probably if there's going to be action, it's going to be here in this top lane against Moo.
Yeah, he's really close to finding this out.
Mm.
It's actually, so he's just waiting for this. I wonder if he's hoping that the courier is going to come. It actually is, but with flying, it probably won't be able to snag it.
Yeah, I feel like
he's going on Chessie in the mid lane again. He's going to Wind Run away though. 5 stacks of napalm. He might catch him still.
Oh, if he just gets one on him, he's going to be able to do it.
Oh,
flame break to the high ground. Chessie falls. What a play! That was beautiful.
Uh-oh. Does he still get away from this? It's going to be close.
Oh no!
That's not how Splinter Blast works.
Oh god, on 4 HP. Oh, that was really close. I'm not sure exactly about that one, but it looked like there's a chance it could have caught him if he hit the range creep instead, but not going to happen that time. And Batrider gets away for his troubles with a clean kill on the Wind Ranger in the mid lane just to even things out again. Let's take a look at net worth, see where we're sitting. 2,400 on the Batrider, 2,300 on the Juggernaut. What you'd expect with a couple of kills here in this lane. And as soon as the Batrider heads on back to base, Fluff and Stuff is going to be there to soak on up a little bit of EXP, hopefully get to level 4. It's just all looking good. Juggernaut, interestingly, has gone for... okay, now he's going to take a point in Healing Ward. So he was just saving all of the skill points and maxing out Blade Fury. Otherwise, Swindles jumps on top of Whitebeard. Are they going to be able to get the kill? Soul Rip dropped, as is the Tombstone. The sprint has already been committed. Do they have enough to be able to turn this back around? Another crush. They're trying to take down Jo. The Splinter Blast comes in. That's going to be a kill. And now Whitebeard might fall as well. This is going to be a dead Tombstone. They get the bounty from it. Everything looking good for compLexity in that engagement. Nice bait with the rotation by Vlad there on the Winter Wyvern.
Yeah, and just understanding how much damage Dazzle can output when you get in the middle of two heroes like that with the Slider. I don't even know if they needed the Winter Wyvern. Gets there just in time for the experience, just to help out and ensure. But Chessie's going to go down again because of Fluff. Another snowball, but they will lose Moo. Fortunately, it is after, so... Oh, actually, it's not. It's before. So there you go. Wind Ranger does get the EXP.
Not bad. It's a better exchange than it could have been, but still wouldn't like to see that Wind Ranger going down if you can at all help it. Oh, Jo maybe a little bit caught out again. He is going to spin from this one. And Whitebeard still be in the area. It looks like they're going to be perfectly fine. Did commit the salve also, so if they wanted to... I mean, he doesn't have a ton of regen now. He's got his Mango. He's also got the Healing Ward. Undyne has his Tombstone back up on for the 1/1/1. I think they're pretty good. Jo just needs to try and play a little bit safe, make sure that he doesn't end up getting caught out by a crush combo with the Dazzle. As long as they know where the Winter Wyvern is, I think that he's going to be fine in this lane from here on out. Whitebeard, though, might not be so lucky if he's not careful.
He's going to dance around a little bit here. Keep those decay stacks if he wants to live. We do have the Doom coming up shortly for Moo, and that's when he starts to get a little bit more scary. And Fluff's actually up here in anticipation of this, waiting for Moo to hit level 6. Look at Fluff. He's the same level as Moo.
Yeah, that's silly.
It's unreal.
It's pretty crazy the way that you're able to do that. Snowball in on the backline. They're going to be able to find the Weaver here. No reveal, though, at this point in time. They didn't want to commit the sentry for it. Instead, are going to back on out. Also worth noting, the camps very, very stacked up for the Batrider. It looks like a 4-stack maybe. Oh, mid lane. Do they have a kill here on the Wind Ranger? Oh, no, not going to be able to make it happen with the Winter Wyvern rotating in. Bottom lane, again, just everywhere. There's people rotating around looking for their opportunities to find kills. And at any given point in time, with all of these melee heroes here, it seems like something could happen if they're not careful. Speaking of which, Doom ends up getting the kill on the Weaver up in the top lane with the help of Fluff and Stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of, I don't know, there's a couple of heroes like that. It's like Juggernaut, and it's just the second they hit 6, you just need to like run because you're dead. You got to be anticipating it just in case, and it just looks like that time not able to get away. And a lot of that's because of the help from Fluff up there, who now has his Walrus Punch as well at 7 minutes.
Oh,
compare that to the level 3 Winter Wyvern.
Is going to end up falling. Maybe Heal Bomb, Soul Rip, keeping him alive a little bit longer. It looked like it was going to be good, but now the rotation, Fluff and Stuff, Walrus Punch, as you were talking about it, just coming off of cooldown, going to make Slardar pay there. In top lane, do they find anything else? No. Just back and forth we go. Everybody rotating around this map, and you can tell right now, compLexity really want to be able to win this one. Do take down Monkeys Forever very low as well, and just back and forth we go all over the map. Moo is now getting harassed as well by the Weaver as well as the Winter Wyvern, and that's going to end up being a kill, Hadouken or not. Goodness gracious. Net worth chart, back and forth we go. 7,500 gold lead for Archon, but did just also lose their offlane Doom, so who really knows where it's going to be at.
Yeah, they are starting to close. Oh man, is he going again?
Z-Freak
just doing his thing.
He's got so much damage. Slardar's here, though, so should be okay. The DD up on the Tusk makes that so deadly. Was able to get the Grave off, thankfully. I think that if he doesn't Grave right there, he is dead. So nice recognition and ability to respond appropriately. It's all looking good right now. This is the type of game that I love to cast as well, because it's back and forth, no real definitive lead. They end up hitting the Shackle! Oh, Monkeys Forever. Nice Flame Break, keeping that little bit of separation. Tusk ends up killing the Slardar in the bottom lane, looking for the kill. Isn't going to be able to find the power shot. Doom down on top of Chessie. He is going to fall in the end. Can they find the Winter Wyvern as well? He's getting Scorched Earth. Well, devours a creep as well, because why not? And the rotation is going to mean that he has to back on out. The TP canceled now. And back and forth.
Jesse mind gamed himself there, thinking that Monkeys was going to go for the mind game back out of the trees, but instead he just kind of continued on the typical retreat path. So unfortunately, he will miss the power shot because of it.
Look at this
Yeah,
stack.
yeah, he'll finally have that blink dagger after this.
This is enormous. He's gonna get his blink dagger and like probably halfway to his force staff almost. Honestly, this is such a huge stack, and he's got another one over there. The other hard camp looked like it was being stacked. The other medium camp, that's like a 4 stack on it as well. They've got so much net worth that's going to start accelerating forward after they finish these ones off. Because if you take a look, like Archon was ahead, they're going to get even more ahead now. Really, really impressive use of the map there and all of its resources.
Yeah, it's crazy that's basically all Whitebeard because Fluff's been, killing people, doing that whole thing. And Whitebeard's just kind of been down there trying to save Jug's life. And he's only a melee supporter, he can only do so much.
Yeah.
He's doing a really good job on all these stacks. It's crazy how much gold it's going to give them, especially because like Jayo's not really going to be all over them. It's basically all for Monkeys and potentially Moo if he wants to go down with Scorched Earth as well. And he's going to be their mech carrier too, which is pretty important.
The other thing is that he's gotten his levels like on this Undying. The fact that he's been stacking all of this while simultaneously being able to hit level 5 at the same time that the Dazzle and Winter Wyvern are, this is the power of those really aggressive supports. There's the Blink Dagger, ends up catching on his Swindles. He is going to get graved on up. We'll be able to TP away, maybe? I think that he's out of here. No, he ends up falling. Okay, yeah, the Flame Break ended up breaking that one. So he does end up dying, unfortunately. They lose the Slardar. I think that's a perfectly fine kill. They use the first Flaming Lasso on.
Guess Zizzy's got to be scared for his life right here. All it takes is one snowball stun if he's within range, and there'll be plenty of time to get the Doom on top with the Arcane Boots up. Moo, he's just gonna get it. Zizzy just stands there.
Yeah.
All right, that's not the play.
That's a little bit unfortunate. Meanwhile, Whitebeard is going to finally get chased on down. We do have the Winter Wyvern in the area. Isn't going to be able to get the return kill. I think that with the Cold Embrace, he still dies. There's a lot of duration left on this Tombstone, and will end up getting taken out here in the end. No Arctic Burn to be able to escape to the high ground. And Archon is really starting to take control of this game now. You get the acceleration with the Blink Dagger, all of the stacks. They just ended up taking another one now as well. I think the Juggernaut was there to be able to get a couple of last hits with the Batrider as well. And now they're sitting at 4,400 net worth across the board, while only the Wind Ranger is there for Team compLexity. Archon are looking very strong.
Yeah, they basically, they have an entire Tricore above the mid lane for compLexity, so not the best there. And with the mechanism now up, the Blink Dagger they can threaten Lasso with, they can essentially start pushing these towers. They have such high levels on their supports. You've got 3 points in the Tombstone, and of course that Walrus Punch, and 4 points Ice Shards right into Fluff. So if they just wanted to group up, I don't really think there's much they can do to stop them. It'll take a pretty good Winter's Curse from Vlad to turn these fights around, because right now Zizzy doesn't contribute all too much. He's sitting on 1,400 gold. Probably going to opt for the Lincoln Sphere. I feel like you're just forced to against the Doom.
Yeah, it's tough. I would love to be able to see him go for a Daedalus, but I'm just not sure if it's in the cards. The flip side of that, again, is that you do have Swindles there, being able to play the Slardar. He can lay down the amplify damage, so you're dealing more damage than you normally would as a Weaver. It's this minus armor strats. There's going to be the Winter's Curse committed. DD up on the Wind Ranger. This is what you need right now. Being able to find this pick off, so key. Rotation on in as well. A couple of heroes coming in here. I don't know if they can really do this. Flaming Lasso down on top of the Winter Wyvern. She does have several stacks as well of the Sticky Napalm. I think that they are going to be able to save her. No, she's in that fire. She's going to end up going down. Batrider gets that kill. Now the turnaround as well. Huge Shackle catching 2. They're going to end up falling, though. Fluff and Stuff is in the area. He get here as soon as he needed to. The Ice Shards as well, catching on in on top of Chessie. He is doomed. Everybody is going to die. They trade the Jug, but got a little bit greedy and ended up losing 4 for it. Huge fight for Archon. 1,600 gold swing, looking at just about, what is that, 1,600 experience as well. Exactly what you want to have happen.
Yeah, I'd call that a win. Obviously, they had to go pretty deep for that kill on Jo, and that's just brutal. Like, I think they just stood around a bit too long. Maybe would have looked for the retreat. There's really not that much catch on the side of Archon. Like, they had to get the Doom off and get their other spells off. So just, I don't know, just a little bit too far behind to try and take care of those TPs that came in.
I think that it comes again to the support levels that you were talking about earlier, the fact, and also the mechanism, like the fact that you were able to get on in there and, oh, Shackle going to end up connecting onto Monkeys Forever. Nice again, but they're going to be able to interrupt it with fluff and stuff. Might be able to find the Wind Ranger for this one. We do have Omni Slash backup. They're going to commit it now. Chessie does end up falling, and now Vlad is looking like he might end up falling as well. This is not what you want to have happen. This is going to be another kill here, and just going to try and delay the inevitable as long as possible. Doesn't have Arctic Burn. There's a little spin for you. Take that one with you, Vlad. Oh, it's sad.
That had to be that had to be the luckiest Omni Slash I've ever seen in my life. I'm pretty sure he got 3 hits off of that when he was standing in the middle of his own creep wave. Like the Wind Ranger was just like in the creep wave.
Yeah.
That's a little bit unlucky there, but oh well. It worked. She was probably dead anyway, but
It's
at least.
it's rough. I agree. It's a combination of very good rotations as well as a little bit of luck that have really been able to turn us around. No Omni Slash here. Swindles is going to unfortunately not quite hit his crush. Might end up getting chased down here as well. Fluff and Stuff Snowball one time. Why not? Nice Dazzle Grave. Keeping him alive a little bit longer. Is going to try and get out of here, but I think that he's still dead. Meanwhile, can they find Z-Freak as well? They do have another chance for it. Monkeys Forever. Nice Winter's Curse. Going to connect, but not really catch on to anybody. Whoa! He dropped low. Still staying alive at the end of all of that. Are you kidding me? Juggernaut ends up taking on down the Winter Wyvern, looking for more. The Dazzle does escape, but everybody else is dead. Thought you're supposed to be a defensive support, bro, but not really a whole lot you can do after all of that is committed.
Jeez, that was like 500 damage from a Shadow Wave, but in the end it won't matter. Nice play by Monkeys there to hold on to that Flame Break. He didn't even end up using it up against Swindles, just holding on to it in case he did try and sprint away or make any sort of distance between the two of them. And how about that style points there for the TP in and immediate blink from the Slide Iron Crush?
That was great.
Swindles wasn't ready for that one.
It was really good. I think that it's tough because I don't know. It's not one of those stuns that you normally have to line up super well. Oh, Snowball forward on a Z-Freak bottom lane. Walrus Punch ends up connecting. Still has the Grave if he wants to commit it. Uses it on himself. Going to stay alive a little bit longer. Now Swindles probably has to back on up. Are they actually just going to be able to kill him here? I think so. That's going to be a kill by the Undyne after the Soul Rip and Decay. But it's normally one where you just blink in and you go. But if you have to like time it out, it gets a little bit funky. It's not like a Lina stun where you sort of know the timing perfectly because there is a little bit of a delay on it if I'm not mistaken. It's like a super slow one cast point though.
Mm-hmm. And we do have the Force Staff up for Chessie, so this is something you'll see up against terrain altering heroes such as the Tusker or Earthshaker. It's not quite as good for initiating as the Blink, but it will save yourself and your allies if they get locked in by that whole snowball, and especially with that flame sticking napalm. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like it's gonna be able to save him here.
That's a kill. That is kill confirmed. Able to finish that one off. I mean, again, they've got the mechanism up here as well. They're going to be able to catch on out this Winter Wyvern. Doom is in the area. They're not going to be able to really, I think, burst on down this Undyne with that Winter's Curse. No follow up here in time, and this is just about the most dead Winter Wyvern we've seen since about 3 minutes ago.
There's an Omni here too. If anyone else tries to come in on this, as they clean up Z-Freak.
Yeah, this is devastating. Archon's draft was just very, very well positioned to do a lot of damage early, and we talked about it in the draft a little bit. The fact that the damage coming out from the Slardar, the damage amplification coming out from the Slardar, the Aghanim Scepter up on the Wind Ranger, these types of things, they work really well when you finally get them up, but if you can't get to that point, all of your heroes feel very ineffectual. Slardar still doesn't have his Blink Dagger, is 40 gold away from it, and you imagine if he had this a little bit while ago, he probably would have been able to find a kill, but just not going to be able to be there. And here again, Moo can just turn around and like ulti and doom the Wind Ranger, and he doesn't even care anymore. It's just so much tankability.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. With the Blink up on Fluff, like, he's already starting to head towards... He's actually bought a Midas recipe. Okay, Fluff. Okay. Is that even... That just sounds like the worst item choice here. That seems so unnecessary. What does that even do? Like, you're up... Why wouldn't you just get, like, a Lotus Orb or a Force Staff or something? But, alright, then.
Archon are feeling confident. I think that's what that tells us here. They're very comfortable in their current situation. I think the stacks were probably one of the biggest things there. The other thing is compLexity don't really have a great hero that would be able to take those. Oh, they are going to try and sneak a Roche. This is probably how they get back in the game. And it seems a little bit too conspicuous to me, though. I feel like they might end up knowing this is going on pretty soon here if they don't show in lane. And immediately we do see the
Yeah.
rotations on over. They know what's going on.
So they have the Tombstone for the high ground. They will have the Winter Wyvern who can get up top, provide vision, though, as they're going to go for that exactly here. Looks like they're going to leave it for now. The Winter's Curse does come out, but it's only on top of Whitebeard. He's pretty much doing the best he can right now. But they will snag. Oh, he actually gets it. Monkey snatches the Aegis from inside the pit. The spin's coming out from Jo. Chessie drops low on the cliff. Swindles is going down. Just the grave saving for now. Zizzy drops. And they're all dead. Is that what they say?
They're all dead.
Did I do it?
That's the line. You did it. You did it, MotPax. It's great. Four heroes ahead in terms of the net worth. Fight recap wise, we're taking a look at a 3,200 net worth lead, 4,300 experience as well. compLexity, their window for coming back is increasingly small, and I think that probably if they don't win the next team fight, that's pretty much GG. And again, we talked about what they need to do in this series. They need to win one game. That's all that needs to happen. And with the pressure this high, like, they're going to have to go up against Cloud9 if they don't end up winning one of these two games here. I think that they can definitely do it. We've seen these teams very equally matched, but this draft just felt very, very strong at compLexity. I would love to see some changes, or by Archon, I'd love to see some changes next round for compLexity.
Yeah, it's just like Doom's already such a strong hero, but even back in the day when Doom was a weaker hero, one of the heroes that people would actually counterpick for a Weaver was the Doom. They would just bring out the Doom and be like, hey, I'm just going to Doom you because there's nothing you can do to leave a Lincoln Sphere, and you're super squishy because he relies so heavily upon the time lapse. So a little bit, that part I'm not too sure about. I don't know if maybe it's just something they're experimenting with. I believe they have to, if they get 0-2 compLexity, if they lose both games, it's bad, right? Something happens. They have to do the playoff.
We'll get
that's
right
the last one to an illusion.
Okay. If they get 2-0'd, they have to go in a best of one against Cloud9. That's the way that the tiebreakers end up working out, and that game will be played at a TBD time. But it's not something that you want to have to do. They did end up doing relatively well across the group stages, but still to sort of come this far and then have to play another best of one at the end of it, particularly after if they do end up losing this one, getting 2-0, it's a big hurt to the confidence. They are going to be looking now for this tier 1 tower. Archon is fairly spread out. They're going to be able to find the kill here. Moo does get stunned immediately. Snowball in on top of Chessie. Omni Slash is going as well. It's going to get tanked a lot. Not going to be able to do out the maximum amount of damage to Chessie. He ends up getting graved as well. Going to turn and fight onto Monkey. Z-Freak now going to be able to try and TP away. And it looks like this is all going to start going Archon's way in a second. Swindles is going to fall, already committing the grave. There's no ability to get out of here. It looks like Vlad is probably going to fall as well. Just trying to do as much damage as he possibly can. But this is looking rather dire for compLexity at this point in time.
Yeah, it's just like that fight starts and compLexity just dumps all their stuff, and then Archon's like, all right, our turn. Like, we'll just mech up, and you're just all dead. So they are just, I think, too far behind. I mean, when you look at the net worth graph, there's 4 heroes above the closest on compLexity. It's just time.
I mean, 15K net worth. We're looking at shooting towards 20,000 experience. Across the board, this type of lineup, the plus side is that they haven't taken a ton of towers yet. The downside to that is that they're about to take a ton of towers, which means they're going to get even more gold. Now Monkey's just in the area. Batrider ends up killing off the Dazzle after the very nice Walrus Punch. There is going to be the Flaming Lasso committed as well. And looks like they're going to let Chessie walk away from this one, maybe? Are they just playing with her a little bit? No, she's going to be able to get out of there, I think. Bottling up after the fact, and another couple of hits. Is this going to be a kill? What a weird little engagement there. It looked like they totally could have gotten that one. And now Weaver's going to turn around and take out Batrider. A little bit of a throw, chasing down over towards the secret shop now. They're going to be able to find Moo, but ran into Jo as well. He does not have Omni Slash for another 30 seconds. This could actually be a really big turnaround if they're able to find these 2 kills. Fluff and stuff behind. Can they turn this one? Oh, God, they're just baiting him on in. Tombstone dropped in the middle of all of them. There is the ulti coming out as well. They want to burst it down. They do take down the Tombstone. Can they find any more kills here? Continuing to chase the Winter Wyvern, but Swindles ends up getting another return kill. Godlike streak for Whitebeard. They're kind of trading relatively evenly. Now Whitebeard is going to end up falling, I think, not quite able to get off the Soul Rip. Gio's still dropping low. They're able to get the grave off, keep him alive. The turnaround is real. Now Fluff and stuff getting chased down yet again. 2 heroes are all that have died for compLexity at this point in time. Winter's Curse committed, and now Fluff is going to die. I do believe Snowball last second stave. Are they going to be able to make it happen? He stays alive a little bit longer, but 2 more right clicks is going to be enough. Double kill. Just like that. Is it a turnaround? Don't call it a comeback.
Oh my god. So about 8,000 experience gained, including 3,200 for the Winter Wyvern and the Weaver. A solid 2,700 for your Dazzle, 2,300 gold for your Weaver, and 1,300 gold for your Winter Wyvern. So those are some items. Now, the best play, I think, so far has been the fact that Zizzy went for the Deso. So we talked about the Lincoln Sphere, and you talked about Deso first, but the reason I was like, oh, I think he's going to go Lincoln Sphere, that's like when the game's even. If you go Lincoln Sphere at this point, you lost. Like, there's no way you win the game if you go Lincolns, right?
Yeah.
Because even if you stop the Doom, I feel like you're still just going to lose the fight. Whereas the Deso at least gives you a chance, right? Like, you avoid the Doom, or like this fight where it's on cooldown, you actually have some damage output, and that helps for those giant turnarounds that we just saw. And this swing is like, that's just crazy. That's one of the biggest swings you'll ever see.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. I think that it's still going to take probably another one like that or multiple smaller ones to be able to really turn this game back around. Swindles here does not want to get picked off. He is going to get doomed, though, and I think he just gets ran down and dies now. Maybe they can get into position. No, there's no way to be able to get him here. Yeah, he ends up falling. But like you mentioned there, I'm wondering now, in your opinion, then, do you think that you have to do a similar type of thing, avoid the Lincoln Sphere again, or do you think that you can go back for that at this point? Do you have to double down on damage a second time for Weaver?
No, now's good. Now's a good time. You got the Deso. Like, at this point, it's about trying to take one more of those big fights, but you're gonna have to rely on someone else because transitioning into the layer portions, you will need it anyway. There's a lasso, there's a Doom. You're just gonna have to get it eventually. So it's gonna be someone else's role. And here comes Monkeys, showing why that Lincoln's might be a good item. But it looks like they're just going to bring him up inside. They do the Cold Embrace on top of him. This fight just might dissipate. They actually do throw up the Winter's Curse. Are they going to go in on this? They're looking for a good Shackle lineup. And, oh, he actually dodges it with the Shackle. He's got him inside the wall. One of the few times the Shackle will not come back out and do something. And, oh, Swindles comes in with a big Blink Crush. It's going to be on top of Fluff. It's kind of a mismatch here. No one's really going and committing to anything. Zizzy losing a lot of HP in the back there. Does die to the Bat Rider's Flame. And now the Walrus Punch comes out, going to eliminate the Dazzle. Down goes your Winter Wyvern. Another big crush from Swindles, but he's just trying to get away from this fight as the Shackle thrown up from Chessie. There'll be a buyback now from Zizzy, coming back in towards the fight. Monkeys starting to drop below. He's getting glimmered in the back, and they're starting to retreat. No more Doom. Another big crush. This reinitiation from Swindle. He keeps going for it, but is there really enough follow-up to do anything? Again, little Shackle Monkeys, but there's no damage here. I don't know what the plan is. Dazzle's coming back. This level death going to eliminate Swindles. And Zizzy's like, all right, let's do this. I'm here, boys. The Dazzle's going, and they'll dust up that Glimmer, but I don't know. Again, this is like, it's like Benny Hill should be playing in the background here. Like, honestly, another Shackle, another Walrus Punch. Spells left, right, and center. Z Frankie's going to be shallow graving himself, but I don't know. Look at the Ring of Fire around him.
Oh.
And, all right, just... Where are we? What is this?
All
Honestly, right. what's Vlad doing? Like, hey guys, I'm here.
Okay, so a number of things in that fight. GG ends up getting called. I think that Zizzy canceled his TP. He was coming in behind them, and it looked like it got canceled, whether that was a communication thing where they said, all right, let's go in, and then he was like, no, it's not, and somebody else called it, or whether that was a just mess up there where he was trying to, hit too many buttons too quickly and ended up, going for the wrong one. Whatever the case, the TP ended up getting canceled. There was a little bit of a back and forth. It didn't quite end up working out. So Archon take game one. We're going to move right on into game two in just a second here. Any final thoughts on this first game?
No MVP Fluff, 5-1-26, support Tusk, Midas. Never did finish up that Lotus Orb. So great Midas, but he just played so well and set up the whole early game for them.
All right, well, we'll be right back in just a second. See you guys very soon, and don't go anywhere. So we're coming back for game two of Archon versus compLexity. Go a quick commercial break here.